Beloved child of the infinite source, today is no ordinary day, for this is the moment when you align with divine substance and you say, "Yes, I receive." The universe has issued a holy check, written in the amount of $1 million, and stamped by the hand of Spirit. It is already yours by divine right. You do not beg for it. You do not chase it. You accept it now. Say with me, I accept this check of the universe, $1 million, now, in perfect ways. I claim it by divine authority. I receive it with joy, with gratitude, with boldness and faith. The law of prosperity knows no delay, and the channels of wealth are now open wide. No force on earth can block what God has ordained. There is no limit in divine mind. There is no ceiling on my good. I am one with infinite supply. My pockets are lined with gold. My hands are magnets for abundance. My thoughts are radiant with receiving. My soul rejoices in this divine deposit, the money I need, the money I desire. The money I decree is here now, on time, overflowing and more than enough. No fear, no doubt, no delay. Only divine order unfolding in wealth. Only perfect timing in manifestation. Only the mighty current of Spirit bringing this check into form. I see it, I feel it, I believe it, I receive it. I am the rich child of a loving Father, and all that is mine by divine right now comes to me in avalanches of abundance. I see it, I feel it, I believe it, I receive it. I am the rich child of a loving Father, and all that is mine by divine right now comes to me in avalanches of abundance. I accept the million. I accept the miracle. I accept the manifestation. And so it is. Divine supply is unlimited and ever-present. There is no lack in spirit, no shortage in the heavens, no ceiling on what God can give. The check for $1 million already exists in the invisible realm. It is not being created, it is being released. It is not being invented, it is being revealed. The treasure house of heaven has no locks on its doors. Every soul born under the sun has access to this boundless abundance, and today that door is open wide for you. You are not a beggar, you are an heir. You do not have to earn your inheritance, you only have to accept it. The mind may say, "Where will it come from?" But the Spirit knows. It is already here. The supply is not waiting to be manufactured. It is spiritual and ever-present, like the air, like the light, like the truth. God's storehouse is never empty. The divine bank does not go bankrupt. The gold of heaven is infinite, and your portion is already prepared, marked, and sent in your name. You are not drawing from the economy. You are not dependent on the opinions of others. You are not waiting for conditions to be favorable. You are working with divine substance, which responds not to effort but to belief. It appears not through struggle but through surrender. The moment you decide to believe in the possibility of this $1 million miracle, the energy begins to gather, and the universe moves swiftly in your favor. You are not asking the universe to create money. It already exists. You are aligning yourself with the flow of it. You are stepping into the river that never dries up. You are tuning into the current that never stops moving, and this current has always known your name. Let the fear of lack fall away. Let the worry of not enough be washed out of your system. These are illusions, shadows that vanish in the light of truth. And the truth is this: you live in a universe where supply is infinite. You are loved by a source that withholds nothing. You are guided by a presence that gives freely and without measure. What you ask for, believing, you shall receive. You must now see this $1,000,000 not as a faraway dream, but as a present reality, not as something that might happen if you're lucky, but something that is guaranteed by the law of divine supply. The money already has your name on it. It already belongs to your spirit. It already exists in the field of creation. You are simply catching up to it. The more you align, the faster it appears. Begin to thank God now for this holy deposit, not because you have seen it, but because you have claimed it. Gratitude is the golden key that unlocks the invisible vaults. It opens the gates of abundance and sends the angels of provision to carry your good to you. When you give thanks before it arrives, you prove to the universe that you know it already exists. And from this holy place of faith and gratitude, the vibration of money itself begins to take shape. For money is not a piece of paper. It is a spiritual idea, born of belief, formed by vibration, and manifested through unwavering faith. It is not a thing to chase, but a force to attract, and it is drawn not by effort, but by certainty. It moves toward those who know it is theirs.
The check has already been written in your name, and divine supply has already responded. But you must now understand how it arrives. This $1,000,000 is not formed through force, it is formed through faith. Money, at its highest truth, is not material. It is not just currency or coins or numbers in a bank. It is a spiritual idea. It is a vibration that begins in the invisible before it becomes visible. It starts as a frequency, and only those who are tuned to that frequency can hold it in their hands. You do not attract money by chasing it. You attract it by becoming one with it. And becoming one with it means you see it not as something separate from you, but as something that is already in your field, already within your vibration, already on its way. Faith is not just belief. It is embodiment. It is knowing that you are worthy, that you are ready, that you are aligned. When you walk in faith, you walk in the direction of your miracle. When you speak in faith, you speak the substance into shape. Say it now with power. Money is a spiritual idea. I receive it by spiritual law. I magnetize wealth with my belief. I do not run after money. Money runs toward me. Let these words not just be phrases in the air. Let them be currents in your soul. Every word you speak is charged with creative energy. Every thought you repeat is a mold shaping your experience. That is why you must speak only what you wish to receive, think only what you wish to birth. Fear speaks in lack, and it blocks the flow. Doubt whispers delay, and it slows the arrival. But faith commands the outcome. Faith speaks the word and knows it is done. So begin now to speak differently, to think differently, to feel differently. Walk like one who has received. Act like one who has already cashed the check. Celebrate as if the million is already in your hands, because in truth it is. The vibration of it is already circling you. This is why worry must be cast out. Worry is faith in the wrong direction. When you worry, you are creating lack with your energy. When you doubt, you are drawing away what is already yours. The vibration of money cannot harmonize with fear. It only flows where there is joy, peace, and certainty. So you must now make a sacred choice, to believe in your abundance more than your appearance, to trust in your wealth more than your current situation, to believe in Spirit's promise more than the world's limitation. You are not meant to strive endlessly for what already belongs to you. You are meant to rise in consciousness, and let that consciousness pull the million into your life with grace. The more you believe, the more you receive, the more you trust, the faster it flows. Money, being a spiritual idea, cannot be earned by mere sweat. It must be attracted by spiritual awareness. That is the secret so many never learn, that the outer world reflects the inner vibration, and once you embody this vibration and you walk by faith, the words you speak begin to carry authority. Decrees become reality. Affirmations become manifestations. And when you speak the word of wealth with boldness and divine power, the universe rearranges itself to match your declaration. For it is written, "You shall decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you." Speak the word, and the word becomes flesh. Speak the million, and the million appears. Now that you understand money is a spiritual idea vibrating into form through the frequency of faith, you must rise to the next truth, that your words are not empty sounds. They are commands to the universe. You do not ask meekly. You do not beg. You do not wonder whether it will come. You speak the word of wealth with divine authority, knowing that what you speak you shape. Your word is your wand, and the moment you declare your million with certainty, the substance begins to gather. The vibration begins to condense. The invisible begins to form the visible. You are a co-creator with divine intelligence. And every word you speak is like a seed planting itself into the fertile soil of spirit, where it cannot return void. That is why you must speak only what you wish to harvest. The spoken word is not just communication, it is creation. You are not just saying words, you are commanding energy. You are instructing the universe to fulfill its part in the divine agreement. Say now with full knowing, "I am rich, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am receiving my $1 million now. It is flowing to me freely, joyfully, easily, from expected and unexpected sources. These are not wishes. These are not requests. These are declarations. They are divine orders backed by the power of truth. And when truth is spoken with faith, it cannot be denied. You do not need to know the how. You only need to command the what. You do not need to force the process. You only need to activate the law. The law of divine compensation is waiting for your clarity. The universe cannot deliver mixed signals. It cannot respond to doubt-drenched words, but it moves mountains for the voice that speaks with unwavering belief. This is why hesitation is a thief. When you speak one word of power and 2 words of fear, you neutralize your decree. When you speak of wealth, then whisper worry, the vibration collapses. So speak the word and do not speak against it. Do not cancel your blessing by discussing your burden. Do not reverse your manifestation by doubting your miracle. The spiritual realm hears only vibration. Let yours be consistent, clear, and full of faith. You are not here to beg for crumbs when your Father owns the feast. You are not here to whisper apologies for wanting more. You are here to take dominion through the divine word, to speak your desire into existence without fear, shame, or guilt. For God delights in your prosperity, and what you boldly claim in full alignment with spiritual law cannot be withheld. Speak not of your lack, for lack is a lie. Speak not of your delays, for divine timing is always now. Speak not of your hardship, for you are crossing into harvest. Let your mouth become a fountain of truth, and your life will become a magnet for miracles. Decree what is yours, and walk as if it already surrounds you. And in this bold speaking of wealth, you must remember, fear and doubt are not just feelings, they are forces that disrupt flow. You must now recognize them not as companions, but as intruders. They are not welcome in the house of abundance. They have no place in the mind that knows its million is already manifesting. And so we move forward now into the next dimension of receiving, where fear and doubt are cast out, and perfect faith takes their place. Fear and doubt are the great interrupters. They are the thieves of divine manifestation, slipping quietly into the mind and shaking the foundations of faith. But now you are no longer their host. You are the master of your vibration. You are the guardian of your energy. And so you evict them fully, completely, without delay. For in this house, the house of your mind, your heart, your word, only faith may dwell. Only certainty may speak. Only alignment may move. Fear is not just an emotion. It is a vibration that sends signals into the spiritual field, a signal that says, I am not ready. I do not believe. I cannot receive. And so Spirit, in its divine order, respects that energy and pauses the flow, not as punishment, but as reflection. For what you hold inside is always reflected outside. The vibration you sit in becomes the experience you walk in. But faith, perfect, unwavering faith, is the doorway to acceleration. It is the force that overrides logic, overrides timing, overrides resistance. It is the clear signal that says, I believe, I am ready, I receive now. And when that signal is strong, the universe races to meet it. Doors open without knocking. Paths appear without effort. People show up without planning. The divine choreography of manifestation begins the moment fear is cast out, and faith becomes the ruling voice. Say this with deep authority: I no longer entertain fear. I no longer host doubt. I am filled with divine faith. I am one with the certainty of abundance. I believe in what I do not yet see, and because I believe, I shall see. Let this be the vibration you breathe, the frequency you carry, the rhythm you walk in. You are not here to negotiate with your doubts. You are here to command with your faith. Faith is not loud, but it is strong. It is not forceful, but it is firm. It does not need proof, because it is the proof. And when you live in this faith, money begins to answer you. Opportunities begin to obey you. The million you have spoken of, the check you have accepted, begins to gather itself into your experience with precision. You are no longer delaying your miracle by second, guessing your worthiness. You are no longer waiting for permission from the world. You have already received permission from God. Faith is the bridge between the spiritual idea and the physical form. It is the current that carries the unseen into the seen. And once you walk across that bridge, you do not look back. You do not test it. You do not question whether it will hold. You move forward knowing it was built for you, knowing that every step is taking you closer to the visible arrival of your invisible truth. And as you walk in this faith, you begin to feel it more deeply. You begin to sense that the million is not just coming, it is already present. The manifestation is not far away. It is now, and all that remains is your acceptance, your continued yes, your unshakable alignment with the vibration of receiving. For just as faith activates abundance, acceptance seals it. And now you are ready to step into that acceptance, not as hope, not as wish, but as knowing. You now walk boldly into the next phase of this divine decree, where the million is not just an idea, but a prepared reality waiting for your full reception. You are now standing in the energy of full acceptance. You are no longer reaching for the million. You are receiving it. You are not questioning how it will come. You are welcoming it in the way Spirit chooses. You are not chasing the form. You are aligned with the substance. For it has already been prepared for you. The divine check has already been written, the envelope already stamped with your name, and the delivery already in motion. The million is not a future event. It is a present vibration. It is not on the way. It is here and now. It must be received through the open door of your soul. The universe is precise. It does not guess. It does not experiment. It follows law, divine law. And by this law, whatever is yours by right of vibration must come to you effortlessly, perfectly, in divine order. You are not trying to make anything happen. You are remembering it is already done. The good you desire is not being built. It is being revealed. Every desire born in truth is already completed in spirit. You do not need to push. You do not need to manipulate. You only need to say yes, and continue saying yes with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your vibration. Let this be your decree now. The million is already mine. I receive it in the perfect way, at the perfect time, through the perfect channels. I do not block it. I do not fear it. I do not delay it. I accept it now in full, and I allow it to unfold with ease and joy. This is not passive acceptance. It is powerful, deliberate, and magnetic. You are magnetizing what you are in agreement with. An agreement means you stop arguing against it in your mind. It means you stop doubting whether you're worthy. It means you no longer negotiate with your old story of lack. You are no longer waiting for the world to approve your blessing. The approval already came from a higher source. What you have accepted must come. It must manifest in form, for the law of spirit never fails. Your readiness is the final invitation. Your belief is the final door. And your peace is the proof that you are walking in divine order. You are no longer in resistance. You are no longer in delay. You are in full spiritual agreement with your financial breakthrough. And this agreement calls in the delivery. The money begins to take form. The channels begin to open. The connections begin to form. The divine appointments begin to occur. The people, the places, the timing. It all begins to align as if it had always been meant for you. Because it was. You are not preparing to receive. You are in the moment of reception. And in this holy reception, your heart is flooded with gratitude. For gratitude is not something you save for after the miracle. It is the fuel that speeds its arrival. Gratitude says, I already have it. I already hold it. I already know it is mine. Gratitude is the seal on your spiritual check, the signature that confirms the transaction in the unseen. So now your soul begins to thank in advance. You begin to praise without needing proof. You begin to rejoice in what the eyes have not yet seen, but the spirit has already touched. Because in the realm of spirit, the transaction is complete. And now, in the vibration of holy gratitude, you step fully into the flow that carries all things into form. Gratitude is the voice of the soul that already knows. It is the song of the heart that remembers the miracle before it appears. And now, as you sit in this divine vibration of thanks, you unlock doors that effort alone could never open. For what gratitude does, nothing else can do. It aligns you with the finished work. It seals your vibration with the tone of receiving. It wraps your desire in the robe of readiness. And in this holy frequency, the million is not just coming. It is dancing toward you. Every word of thankfulness carries magnetic power. When you say, thank you for my $1 million, you are not pretending. You are prophesying. You are not imagining. You are activating. You are telling the universe, I trust you. I see beyond the visible. I know it is done. And that knowing draws it closer. It pulls it into form. It calls it from the invisible into the visible with speed and grace. But there is another secret hidden within gratitude. It clears the path. For just as you thank God for what is coming, you must also release what no longer serves: bitterness, resentment, envy, guilt. These are low frequencies that disrupt the flow. They are spiritual blocks that shadow the light of manifestation. You cannot hold wealth in one hand while holding unforgiveness in the other. You must be clear, clean, and open. You must be willing to let go of anything that whispers, "You don't deserve this," or "You are behind," or "It's too late." These are lies. They have no place in your energy. So say now, "I release all resentment. I forgive the past. I bless every soul who hurt me. I let go of every wound and make room for my wealth. I forgive myself for every delay, and I step now into divine timing with joy and confidence." This is spiritual hygiene. This is energetic preparation. This is how you clear the soil so the seed of wealth can take root and grow without resistance. As you forgive, you rise. As you give thanks, you expand. And this expansion is not just internal. It becomes visible. You begin to notice blessings where you once saw lack. You begin to feel peace where you once felt panic. You begin to walk with quiet confidence, not because you've seen it yet, but because gratitude has confirmed it in your spirit. You are now vibrating at the frequency of receivership. You are no longer trying. You are allowing. You are no longer reaching. You are attracting. And this attraction is not random. It is sacred law. The law of gratitude multiplies whatever you focus on. If you thank God for increase, increase must come. If you bless your bank account, it must grow. If you rejoice over money, even when it's small, it must multiply. For nothing can remain small where true appreciation lives. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a spiritual strategy. It is how you hold the vibration long enough for it to become your experience. It is how you stabilize your faith even in silence. It is how you bless what hasn't appeared yet, knowing it's already en route. And as you live in this daily praise, as you wake in the morning already thankful, as you lay your head at night blessing what is coming, the divine current keeps flowing. And in that current comes guidance. In that current comes instruction. In that current comes the gentle whispers of spirit leading you not just into receiving, but into the right action. Because after the decree, after the faith, after the gratitude, comes the step, the divinely inspired, perfectly timed step that brings heaven's promise to earth's reality. Gratitude opens the way, but it is the obedience to divine guidance that delivers the form. For Spirit does not only bless through vibration, it also speaks through instruction. It speaks through nudges, whispers, flashes of insight, and moments of inner knowing. And when you are aligned in faith and steeped in thanksgiving, you begin to hear it clearly. You begin to feel it deep within your being. Do this, call them, go there, say yes, release that. These are not just thoughts. These are divine directions, and they are sacred steps into your abundance. You see, receiving is not only about waiting. It is about moving in rhythm with what is revealed. You are not being asked to strive. You are not being asked to hustle. You are being asked to listen. You are being asked to trust the inner voice. And when you follow that voice without hesitation, you align your outer world with the wealth that is already promised in the spiritual realm. You may be guided to take a small step that leads to a great breakthrough. You may be prompted to make a phone call that unlocks an unexpected opportunity. You may be nudged to forgive someone, to walk away from something, to begin again in a new direction. These are not coincidences. These are divine coordinates. They are part of the $1,000,000 delivery system, and when followed with faith, they always lead to more than you imagined. Say now with bold trust, I hear divine instruction clearly. I act with confidence. I follow the path of spirit, and I trust the unfolding. Every step I take is aligned with my highest good. I do not delay, I do not resist. I obey with joy, and abundance meets me on the way. Obedience to divine prompting is not about logic. It's about alignment. It may not always make sense in the moment. The step may seem too simple, or too bold, or too different from your plan. But that is the beauty of divine wisdom. It sees beyond your current vision. It guides you with precision, not pressure. It does not rush you. It moves you in perfect timing. And when you act in faith upon that guidance, miracles meet you at the intersection. Divine orchestration begins to accelerate. The connections line up. The doors swing open. The resources appear. And the $1,000,000 that once lived in your spirit begins to arrive in form, not through force, but through flow. This is why you must remain tuned in. This is why you must stay sensitive to the nudges of your soul. You do not need to have the entire plan. You only need to take the next step, and then the next, and with each obedient act, you prove to the universe that you are ready to steward the blessing. That you are not just a receiver, you are a vessel through which abundance can move. And as you follow divine guidance with joy, you begin to understand the deeper truth of money, that it is not something you possess, it is something you circulate, it is not something you cling to, it is something you channel. Your obedience does not only lead you into abundance, it prepares you to use abundance in ways that bless and uplift, because what is given to you in faith must also be shared in love. And in that love, you begin to understand that the more you give, the more flows back to you. You become the open channel through which heaven pours its endless supply. As you follow divine guidance with joy and obedience, you begin to sense the real purpose behind the $1,000,000. You realize it was never just for you to hold, it was for you to circulate, for you are not only a receiver of wealth, you are a vessel for divine prosperity to move through. What is given to you is never meant to stay with you. Money, when aligned with spirit, is not stagnant, it flows. It blesses, it multiplies through use. It heals when shared in love, and the more you allow it to flow, the more it returns pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You are now stepping into a new relationship with wealth, one that is rooted not in fear, not in hoarding, not in proving anything, but in sacred stewardship. You do not need to grip the blessing to feel safe. You do not need to hold tightly to what the universe has already declared infinite. You trust that what comes continues. You trust that giving is not loss, but expansion. You trust that what leaves your hand in love returns to you multiplied. Declare it now with a generous heart. I am a divine channel of abundance. As I receive, I give. As I give, I receive more. My wealth is not for control. It is for circulation. I bless others through my abundance, and in blessing I am blessed again. This is the sacred rhythm of divine prosperity, the giving and receiving, the inhale and the exhale, the flow and the return. You begin to see money not as a means of power, but as a tool for purpose. It feeds, it frees, it builds, it heals, and when it flows through hands that are guided by spirit, it creates miracles. Your $1,000,000 is not just a symbol of answered prayer. It is a key to unlock blessings for others. It is a way to extend your faith into action, a way to give God's love a physical form. Every act of generosity, no matter how small, sends ripples into the spiritual field, and those ripples come back with greater power. This is why divine wealth cannot be stagnant. It was never meant to sit still. It was never meant to be hidden away in fear. What is hoarded decays, but what is circulated grows. The universe flows where it feels free. And when you become a safe vessel, when you show heaven that what comes to you will be honored, will be moved, will be used in wisdom and in love, then the floodgates open wider. You are not just wealthy, you are trusted, trusted by the universe, trusted by spirit, trusted to move blessings into the world where they are needed most. And this trust attracts more, it calls in more, it prepares you for increase beyond the million, because you are no longer asking only for yourself. You are asking on behalf of the lives you'll touch, the causes you'll uplift, the light you'll spread. And in that light everything changes. You shift from wanting to having, from having to giving, from giving to expanding. And this expansion is not only financial, it is spiritual, it is emotional, it is energetic. Because when you align your wealth with love, your soul grows with it. And from that space of divine expansion, something greater begins to stir, something holy, something true, something that prepares you to receive not just wealth, but the accelerated delivery of everything Spirit has already promised. And as you move in this divine expansion, as you give from the overflow, as you trust yourself as a vessel of wealth and love, you begin to witness something miraculous. What was once delayed begins to accelerate. The timelines you once thought were stuck begin to dissolve. The waiting season shortens. The divine delivery quickens, because now your energy is not just open, it is in motion. You have become a magnet for divine speed. The million that felt far away now rushes to meet you, because your vibration has shifted from requesting to readiness, from hoping to commanding, from limitation to full alignment with the law of increase. This is the realm where divine timing and divine acceleration meet. Yes, there were delays, but they were not denials. They were preparations. They were unseen rearrangements for your highest good. And now, because your heart is ready, your channel is clear, your mind is elevated, and your spirit is fully aligned, everything that once felt like it was being withheld is now being poured out with power and precision. Say this now with holy expectation. Every delay is turning into divine acceleration. What was once held back is now being released. What seemed slow is now speeding up. Spirit is not late. It is strategic. My blessings are arriving on time, in abundance, and beyond what I imagined. These words carry frequency. They carry heat. They stir the energy field around you into motion. For when you declare that nothing is lost, that nothing is broken, that nothing is out of reach, you reclaim your authority as a creator with God. You must understand, there is no such thing as lost time in spirit. What was delayed is now being returned with interest. What felt blocked is now flowing without resistance. What you thought missed you is now circling back with multiplied force. Because you did the inner work, because you stood firm in faith, because you surrendered instead of striving, and Spirit always rewards the soul who waits with praise and walks with power. There is no need to try to force your blessings anymore. The spiritual order is already in motion. The harvest is catching up with the seeds you've sown in secret. The answers are finding their way to your voice. The divine appointments, the perfect people, the unexpected open doors, they are being positioned now with speed, because your vibration now calls for it. You are no longer in energetic conflict with your wealth. You are no longer wavering. You are steady. You are solid. You are saturated with certainty, and certainty attracts quickly. Now is the season where things happen in days that used to take years. Now is the season where sudden breakthroughs become your new normal, because you understand time differently. You no longer live by the calendar of the world. You live by the calendar of spirit, and spirit wastes nothing. Spirit delays nothing without reason, and when the soul is ready, what was once slow becomes swift. You feel it now, a divine momentum, a rushing wind of fulfillment, an acceleration that only spirit can orchestrate. The check is no longer crawling, it's flying. The million is no longer forming, it's manifesting. And as you open to receive with joy, you begin to sense the final truth that seals it all, that you already possess what you seek, that your good is not coming, it is here, that the million is not just arriving, it is already yours, already imprinted in your spirit, already echoing through your soul, already appearing in the outer as surely as it lives in the inner. The acceleration has begun, and with it comes the sacred realization that what you once longed for is already yours. Not just in theory, not just in desire, but in truth, in vibration, in spiritual substance. You are no longer waiting to become. You are remembering what you already are. You are not chasing wealth, you are unveiling it. You are not begging for a breakthrough. You are walking in the reality that it has already been delivered in spirit and is now materializing in form. The $1 million is no longer a distant idea. It is a living presence in your energetic field, already attracted, already drawn, already spoken for. You can feel it now, not as a fantasy, but as a knowing deep in your being. It hums within you like a melody you've always known. It lives in your awareness as a truth you cannot unsee. You look around with new eyes, not searching for signs, but recognizing them. Everything is aligning. Everything is responding. Everything is echoing the truth you have declared. I already possess it. I already hold it. I already am the embodiment of this abundance. Say this now with full spiritual authority. I already have the $1 million. I already live in the overflow. My supply is here. My provision is present. My wealth is real. I walk in it. I breathe it. I carry it in my vibration, and it manifests around me with ease. There is no more delay in the field of your soul, because there is no more delay in the field of your faith. You are one with your answered prayer. You no longer need to convince yourself. It has become your identity. You are no longer wishing. You are witnessing. You are no longer asking. You are accessing. And as you walk in this revelation, your posture changes. You speak with calm certainty. You make decisions from abundance, not lack. You carry yourself as one who lacks nothing, because your supply is not sourced from the world. It is sourced from spirit, and spirit is limitless. This $1 million is not a gift outside of you. It is an extension of what you already carry. It is the evidence of your alignment. It is the physical response to your spiritual truth. It shows up not to complete you, but to reflect you. Not to define you, but to honor what you already are. You were always worthy. You were always prepared. You were always meant to overflow. Now you rise each morning not asking when it will come, but asking where it shall flow. You become the river, not the reservoir. You move from receiving to releasing, from calling in to carrying out. And as you do, the cycle of divine provision continues without interruption, because what is fully received must also be fully expressed. You are not just a magnet for wealth, you are a lighthouse of wealth, and those who walk in your light will be changed by your overflow. This is where the manifestation completes its circle. You now see yourself not just as the one who asked, but as the one who became. You are the answered prayer, you are the living proof, you are the manifestation of the decree, walking the earth with the radiance of fulfilled prophecy. And as you move in that truth, you speak a new word, not one of longing, but of legacy. You speak not only of what you have, but of what you are here to create. Because now, from this place of abundance, you are ready to decree again, to create again, to rise again into the next chapter of divine purpose. I accept the million, I receive it now, I do not wait. I welcome, I do not beg. I believe, I do not fear. I flow. The cheque of the universe is mine by divine right. It is written in heaven and released on earth. It comes to me freely, joyfully, easily, and in perfect timing. I am a powerful receiver. I am aligned with abundance. I am one with the law of wealth. Everything I touch is blessed. Everything I speak is fulfilled. I live in the overflow. I give from the overflow. I rise in the overflow. I move with grace. I attract with ease. I multiply with love. I am no longer becoming. I am being. I am no longer chasing. I am claiming. I am no longer hoping. I am holding. The $1 million is not coming. It is here. It is mine. It is done. It is sealed. It is manifest. I give thanks before I see. I rejoice before it arrives. I walk by faith, and I always arrive in favor. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is.